Okay, anyway, number 5. I'm gonna do this properly and not type it in the calculator. Okay, now I have a quick thought to myself. Is this a same base exponential? Can I figure out a same base for this? Yes. Okay, so 5 to the x equals 5 squared. Cancel, cancel, x equals 2. Oh man, that was great. Easy, satisfying, makes Mrs. Talbot happy. Please stop that. That does not make Mrs. Talbot happy. Okay, moving on to number 13. Please locate number 13. Okay. Find the inverse. We're going to do this with steps. So let's just say over here, just for sake of, oh crap. Hold on. My negative's not in the right spot. Okay. Let's pretend that I'm plugging in what? I always say, plug a number in for X. What would you do first? I feel like sometimes if you actually put a number in for X, it helps you decide what actually goes first. So if I were to plug a number in there and I were to type this in the calculator, exponent first, right? So my first step would be 6 to the power. And then I'm going to do this in one thing. I'm going to go divided by -3. I'm going to include the negative and the 3 in one step. Okay. Inverse step. Oh, I think I have to do it in pink. Please hold. Okay. Got it. No need for holding any longer. What would I do first? Or what would I undo first? This, right? Times -3 log base 6. Okay. So y inverse. Start with x. There's a log involved, so I'm going to move my stuff way over here. First step is times -3. And then log base 6 of everything, except for I hate how that looks. So I'm going to change it to that. Nope. Okay. We are done with the packet for the moment. Actually, no. Let's look at last night's homework first. While we're here, yeah, yeah, it's the play. Okay. What can I assist? No, 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 no. I'll do 1. 11? Okay. 11 it is. Okay. So this problem has a root. So my first step is going to be taking that root and changing it to a half power because a square root is a half power. You only do that when there's a root involved in the problem. So that's only going to be that particular one in all of these 4. Yep. Okay, split it into 2 different logs, but multiplication is plus. And then to put both of the exponents in front, I'm going to put my little arrow. Okay, and I don't know if you guys no, remember I said yesterday you can leave it like this. This is a perfectly good final answer, but if you look here, it's gonna look a little different. It's gonna say divided by 2, but that's the same thing as times a half. So you can rewrite it to this if you like, if you want it to match exactly because you know you're like me and you want everything to match up perfectly because you know I have that sort of complex. But if you don't, you can totally just leave it. And I'm just gonna say or there so you don't feel like you did something wrong. Just recognizing that those two things mean the same thing is okay. Do you want to pick one from the bottom section?
15 through 18. Oh, sorry, 15.
Well, 15 is going to look exactly like number 11. I highly suggest you do like 16 with subtraction. But really, all you have to do, look at, okay, you guys, seriously, look at the answer for number 11 and the problem for number 15. They're exactly the same. All you have to do is just go back. Okay, but let's do this guy. Okay, so condense means you could do your steps backwards. There's no dividing, so I'm here. So I'm gonna go backwards and put the exponents back. So, hold on. Log base 5 of 3 to the 5th. It's hard because there's like parentheses in some and not in others. Minus log base 5 of 10 to the 10. Okay, now will subtraction is which operation for log? Yeah, okay. So we're going to condense it down to one log with division. And the first thing that they give you goes on the top. And the second thing they give you goes on the bottom. Are you overthinking them perhaps? Yeah, once we do a few of them, they'll totally be fine. Okay. Anything on the other side? You guys sure the front side's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, well, let's get into work Wednesday. It's not bad, it's not bad, I promise it's not bad, it's not bad.
Okay, let's see.
No, that's what you said. Much less than take up Tuesday. Okay, but I'm gonna add a problem every time Sean does that.
Oh, no.
Every time I hear a whistle, we're doing another problem. The setup was already looking far superior. Okay, now, this is my warning. this particular problem, we're gonna use the actual CPM ebook for this. It's about pregnancy. Well, you're going to have to hold it together in the maturity level. So, just giving you a full maturity warning. This problem is about pregnancy. You can do it. Yeah, here we go.
Come on, man.
Okay,
I believe you.
but it's actually useful. So, hold on. Shh. Let's take it. All right, here we go for real now. I swear it's happening. Okay. Okay, 31, due date. Brad's mother has just learned that she is pregnant. Now I think this, first when I read this, I was like, hey, this kid's in math 3 and he's gonna have a baby, his mom's gonna have a baby, and I thought that was unusual, like, for them to be that far apart. But then I counted, and my husband's youngest brother was born when he was 16. I know. So I guess it's not that weird. Anyway, everybody treats him like baby of the family, and anyway, it's really fun. But okay, Brad's mother has just learned that she is pregnant. Brad is very excited that he will soon become a big father. However, he wants to know when his new sibling will arrive and decides to do some research. On the internet, he finds the following article. This is, by the way, this is real, actual data, how it works. Hormone levels for pregnant women. When a woman becomes pregnant, the hormone HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, is produced to enable the baby to develop. By the way, HCG is the hormone that they look for on the pregnancy test. So that's the thing that makes the line blue or whatever. During the first few weeks of pregnancy, the level of HCG hormone grows exponentially, starting with the day the embryo is implanted in the womb. However, the rate of growth varies with each pregnancy. Therefore, doctors cannot use just a single test to determine how long a woman has been pregnant. They must test the levels over time. Commonly, the HCG levels are measured 2 days apart to look for this rate of growth. Brad's mother said she was tested for HCG during her last 2 doctor visits. On March 21st, her HCG level was 200 milli-international units per milliliter. 2 days later, her HCG level was 392 milli-international units per milliliter. Assuming that the model for HCG levels is in the form y equals AB to the x, write an equation that models the growth of HCG for Brad's mother's pregnancy. Oh, that's why that was in the homework. Okay. So what I want you guys to do is take your table and we're going to kind of mark it up. So we know her level was 200 on March 21st. I don't want to put March 21 as my X. That's a very awkward X. So my suggestion is to call that day 0, the start. And then 2 days later, 392. Okay, now we're going to set up our equation. So now we need to count the B's. So 1, 2, B, 200. No, 200B squared equals 392. But let's pause. Do we understand why it's B squared? So it's 200 times something times something. Okay, now always divide first. You might feel like this lesson's out of nowhere, but just give it a second. I promise you it's not. The context kind of is, but Okay, now technically, because we're doing a mathematical model, we're supposed to consider the fact that it would be plus or minus 1.4, but in this particular context of a woman's hormone levels going up, it's not going to go negative in the middle and then positive again. So I just said, we're gonna ignore the negative part because it's a word problem, and so just 1.4 positive. Okay, so let me remind you how to do the equation. So the equation is y equals ab to the x. And in this case, a is 200 because that's the start or day zero or term zero or thing zero. Okay, now you're going to start to see why this makes sense to come in this part of the chapter, because we've just been learning a lot of log stuff, and this is like, feels like it's out of left field. It's easier than the log stuff, but however, it's actually related. Hold on a second. Okay, now B. Most women maintain an HCG level of 5 milli-international units per milliliter before becoming pregnant. Assuming that Brad's mother's level of HCG on the day of implantation was 5 milli-international units per milliliter, on what day did the embryo most likely become implanted? How many days after implantation was his mother's first doctor visit? Okay, so 5. First question I have for you, is this an X or a Y? Look at your table. Is it a day or is it a amount? Yes. What? Is 5 an X or a Y? It's a Y. Great job. Okay. So right, Y equals 5. And then we get to do something really fun. Okay. Now you're going to start to see why we're doing this lesson right now. Okay. So if Y is 5, we're going to plug 5 into the equation here. And now, oh no, the cat is stuck in the tree. Okay, not yet though. Hold up. Okay, so this is really important. You can only log both sides when the base and exponent are alone. I'm going to say that again. Yeah, so you can only log both sides when the base and exponent are alone. So divide by 200 first. Always divide first. You could do it in a fraction if you want to. I'm just too lazy. Okay, now I'm going to hit it with a log on both sides. Okay, but what's that called? Hmm? Okay, and type it in. Thank you. Okay, now since we're talking about number of days, which is a discrete type of thing, you guys know what I mean when I say discrete? Like not continuous, like whole numbers, the number of days. I'm gonna round it to -11, and then I'm gonna backtrack from her doctor's appointment. So backtrack from her doctor's appointment would be, yep. Not my area of expertise. Gotta say, the math I can do, the bio stuff, no. Okay, but I want you to see that this type of problem where you're solving for the exponent is going to involve you being able to figure out the equation of exponential, which is from math one, and we did it two ways. In chapter two, we did the system method and the table method. And today we're going to do that again. We're going to do the system method and the table method. That's 32 and 33. We're gonna do it the same problem each time, but this time there's a vertical shift. So I'm adding a plus K. We've never done it with a vertical shift up or down. The asymptote's always been at 0. It's not a big deal, I promise. I just want to make sure that you know how to do it. And then at the very end, I need you to vote on whether or not you like systems or tables. We're gonna do the system method first. And then we'll do the table method, and you can decide which one you would like to do. I do not care. Mhm. Okay, so first, just a common sense check. Look at the 2 points that I gave you. Does it make sense that the asymptote would be at 10? Just a common sense check from yeah, so like the two y coordinates are 12.5 and 11.25. So you can kind of see that it's going to approach 10. Just want to make sure that that's a reasonable number before we move on. Okay, and the equation, the system of equations that we're going to create is going to be off of y equals a b to the x plus k. So this is the system we're going to make. We're going to make two of these, one for each point. Now, this is an x and a y. No, this is an x and a y, and this is a k. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is follow along with me. I'm going to put one equation here and one equation here, one for the first point, one for the second point. So 12.5 equals A, B to the 3 plus 10. 11.25 equals A, B to the 4 plus 10. Okay, pause. We get to go slow today because there's just not that much to do. I want to pause and make sure you understand where all those numbers came from and where they went. And also, did I do it correctly? I think so. Okay. Now, before we make our system, we're going to minus 10 from both sides on these. So want to get the exponential part by itself. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my system, and you don't have to do it this way, but I'm a lazy human being. So I always put the bigger exponent one on top. And why do I put the bigger one on top? Because I'm going to end up subtracting those two exponents, and I prefer not to have a negative. I'm just lazy, so I choose to put the bigger one on top. Okay. Now the a's cancel. 1.5 divided by 2.5 is 0.5. And b to the fourth b to the fourth minus 3. So b to the fourth divided by b to the third is b. Because you subtract the exponents. Okay, now I'm going to plug it back into one of the two to get a. So just come over here. 1.25 equals a times 0.5 to the 4. I just plug it in right there. 1.25 equals a times. Yeah. You would do the plus 10 if you did the 11.25. Do you see what I mean? You can. Totally fine if you do. It's just don't forget to minus it. I understand. Okay, so final answer, y equals 20 times 0.5 to the x plus 10. Okay, I will tell you, I don't want to bias your opinion over which one of the methods is better, but this is the one that Miss Rice and Mr. Knight do in pre-calc, AP pre-calc. So if you're going to take AP pre-calc, might want to force yourself to do this way. You don't have to. And Miss Rice said that, we just talked about it this morning because she comes in every morning and we're like, we talk about, because we're just giant nerds, people, giant nerds. Anyway, she said that if somebody had a test or quiz in her class and they wanted to do the table method, she would not mark it wrong. But she's not going to do any of the like notes problems that way. So that would be on you to remember. Okay, but just, throwing that out there. For math 3, I don't care. You can do either one. Okay, so that's the system method. That's done. Complete. Okay, so now we're going to do the same exact thing, same exact problem. with the table method. Same number, same everything. I like the table method better personally. But, I don't want to sway your opinion. I'll probably do the table method if I have to do them in front of class. Okay, now the table method requires you to think for a second. So this is a shift up 10. That makes sense if you look at the y coordinates of those points. So pretend we didn't already talk about this. Pretend. This is a shift up 10. So what I'm telling you is before you start the problem, you have to shift the points back down 10 before you make your table. So you have to undo. I don't know why I just would have closed it. You have to undo the shift up 10 before you make your table. Again, you have to undo the shift up 10 before you make your table. So this would be 3, 2.5, 4, 1.25. Okay, now why is that okay? Well, do you guys remember before we did anything on the system method, we subtracted 10 from both sides first. So this is subtracting 10 from both sides. Okay, now table. When you make your table, always put a spot for 0. And again, you will get the problem wrong if you forget to undo the asymptote first. Okay. Okay, so there's only one B between these two. So I'm just going to write 2.5 B equals 1.25. But that's unusual. I'm not usually that nice. Usually I make you square root like we did in the yeah, the 731. Okay, now on this, to find A, yeah, you backtrack. So I'm gonna go, you can, but I'm going to divide by B. Because I don't want to think, you can think about it like that if you want to, but I multiply to go down the table and divide to go back up the table. So I'm gonna go 2.5 divided by 0.5 divided by 0.5 divided by 0.5. And then final answer. Well, not every time. It's just that this happened to be the same problem as the last one. A is whatever the y-intercept is, which is start at 0. So you gotta backtrack on your table with 0, which is why that always been spot for 0. Okay, so moment of truth. Which one do you like? System or table?
Table.
Raise your hand if you like system. Table? And I do not care. You can do whatever you like. You can do whatever you like. You choose. Choose your own adventure. I'm gonna do table because I'm late. Yes, yep, that both work every time. And it's just your personal preference. And I do not care. Now, this is the amount of nerd I would be. I would probably do both on a test because I'm just that nerdy. But
Please don't expect that.
I don't,
Please don't.
I don't care. Okay. Now, next thing, can you guys find your packet, please? We have to do something very importante. Muy importante. I know. Okay. On Friday, we are doing a play. A play. This play is a murder mystery, and it does not require anyone to get up. You just sit in your seat and read your parts. But before we have a short day on Friday, so I want to pick parts before we go. And so what I'm going to ask is if you take a part, will you please like circle or highlight or something your particular parts? Sean? Okay, so just to warn you, the narrator is most of it.
Happy Dr. Denman.
Yes, okay. So we have Sean, Violet, Sam. I will be Ajax Barak. So
No.
it's actually not really a speaking part. There's just like motions to do that are dumb. You want to be Dr. Quincy or Faust? You want to be Faust? Okay. Will, you want to be Dr. Quincy? Okay. Okay, we're done. Don't worry, it's fine. Now, if you feel up to doing a fun voice, that would be great. Not required. Just make it more fun and spooky. But I don't think that it's noted. Okay, it's 007, but it's, yeah, they don't want to get sued. Okay, now that that's done, so this is what I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. So I feel like there were some of you who had all best intentions to finish your worksheet, but were not able to because you got stuck. So I think what I'll do is stamp in like, say, 30 minutes from now. But you should definitely be working on the homework. And I'll just stamp in a little while so that just in case you need to fix your worksheet, you can. Welcome.